Well, let's have a little chat about this before we carry on. Um, as I mentioned, I've changed the sky quite a bit. What I had was a very intense focal area here, just for the sky. And I thought, okay, it looks very much like a nocturne at that point. I wanted to spread that focal area out a little bit. I wanted to change or move these high values around a little bit so that it did not look like the moon or the sun shining behind clouds. Because that's not where I want my main interest to be. I want it to be down here. As it sits, I could go in with all kinds of dark colors and the whole bottom would practically almost be black. And it would be an effective poster for, a movie or something, I don't know. Some kind of a pop art illustration, I suppose. Very dramatic. And I would like that in a way, but that's not really what I'm after for this painting. If I were to do that, if my plan was that to begin with, I would have raised the values across the board on the sky, the entire sky, so that would leave me more room to drop my values in the foreground. I wouldn't easily get away with that now. So what I'm going to do is sky stays. I think that's fine. I think we're okay here. I'm going to bring in some not really high values, but some fairly intense chromas and a few shots of high value on this peninsula of land that's jutting out into the water. I really like that format for a painting and a photograph. Well, I think it's universally liked by many people. Showing a point of land jutting into a painting, and that becomes your point of interest. Now, if this point, this point of land were to end in, roughly in the center or back here, then this would have to be the focal area. Imagine these trees are gone. We're just coming in down here. In which case, I would want to bring a lot of light from showing in the background some light splashing off the water, and then I would likely have a bit of a far shore showing in the background, just to provide content, right? But that's not the case. We're coming, pretty much 3/4 of the way across the canvas. So that's why I wanted this to stay subdued, because I do not want that to compete with this. And of course, plausibility comes into it as well. So that's why when I bring a point of land way into the canvas like that, I will keep this side subdued, because I don't want it to be about this. I want it to be about that. Right now, it seems almost counterintuitive to start laying light on here, because it still does look really like a nocturnal painting, but it's not going to stay that way. So anyway, it's Wednesday. I'm lazy. I'm not going to do any more. I just did want to mention those couple of things, especially about plausibility / composition. You can have a good composition by shoving this, or panning your camera to the right, and shoving this point of land just to come into here. But then you better come up with something really interesting over here. In this case, it's not about everything else, even though that's the only interesting stuff on there right now, is the sky. This will come to life pretty soon. And that's when you'll see the biggest difference. Sayonara.